Thank you for logging on to monstergardens.com. Today we were debuting an awesome product. This is Matt from Mr. B's Green Trees to show us an all-natural top dressing that he has for every type of gardener.
Yeah, we're here to show you a relatively new products on the market. We've got 4 products here. It's 2 separate lines. 2 of them are natural organic based products and 2 of them have synthetics added for kind of an extra boost for those of you looking to push the limit a little bit. Growth and bloom in each line. The growth in the natural line is a 744, the bloom is a 286, and then in the boost line we've got a 1555 and a 21010. So basically what our products are about are we're trying to add the micronutrients that a lot of products are missing. We add a lot of the macronutrient products, but we're finding that usually when a plant runs into a deficiency, it's going to be one of the micronutrients. So we add a lot of great natural minerals like azomite, glacial rock dust, calphos, kelp meal, and we find that those work together with things like seabird guano, bat guano, fish bone meal to get your plants everything that it needs. In addition to that, we add things like humic acid, fulvic acid, and mycorrhizae to help the roots to break down and uptake those nutrients so you get full healthy plants that thrive in all conditions and soils. So we're finding that those things combined are a great addition to any soil, any sort of foliage that you want to grow, any sort of plants at all.
So Matt, I see here we have a couple different formulations. It looks like we have a growth and bloom, but it looks like we have 2 different grow formulas.
Yeah, we've got the 744 here. This is the one that's natural organic based, a little lower NPK than you'll get out of the synthetics, but again, when you add the micronutrients that you need, you're not going to really run into those deficiency problems because the plant can draw from all those sources. With the 1555, you have the addition of urea, triple phosphate, and triple 15 to kind of boost those numbers, get up in the double digits like some customers really want to see. Same thing goes for the bloom with the 286 products down here. These are just the natural organic base, and then we kind of boost it up to the 21010 with urea, triple 15, triple phosphate, kind of push the boundary there, but still add all those natural and organic amendments in there as well, so you're still getting the full complement of all those micronutrients as well.
Food that's going to be readily available to the plant right when you apply it, but you're also going to get the organic food that's going to be a little more slow release. It's going to take a little more time for the plant to absorb it.
Absolutely, and that's why one of the neat things, what you'll notice that there's only 2 products and we don't have a transition product, and the reason is because there are those slow release organics in there that are going to help you when you start adding a bloom. During a grow cycle, you're going to have some of that slow breakdown nitrogen in there that's going to help transition you into the bloom cycles.
Perfect, perfect. Yeah, for a lot of gardeners out there that are growing outdoors, 2 things to know. One, of course, synthetic nutrients, granular base, are going to be readily available to the plant right away as soon as you're watering, but the organic stuff is typically going to take a little bit of time to break down. Some of the elements might break down in a few days, some might be a few weeks, just really depends. So the gardener that really is looking for a well-rounded nutrient program for their outdoor garden, that want to get a great result right away, look at using their quasi formula. And for the grow, that was the
1555 down here. You'll definitely see, if you're using this product versus the 744, out of the gate you're going to see a little more growth with the 1555 because of those readily available nitrogens. However, in the long run, this is going to perform just as well because that nitrogen is going to start to break down. And again, we believe that the main deficiencies that plants experience are micronutrients rather than macronutrients. So having those in there are going to help the plant along, especially with the addition of the humic acid and mycorrhizae to help with the breakdown and uptake of those nutrients.
So this is a complete food base. There's nothing that really needs to be added.
If we're going to add anything in conjunction with our lines, we really strongly recommend the use of compost teas because again, this is a powdered product and there's a lot of those nutrients in there that are going to break down with water, but really soil biology is what helps break down those components into usable forms for plants. And the addition of the humic acid and the mycorrhizae is going to help tremendously with that, but compost teas help even further, and you'll see some excellent results when those are used together.
Now that gardener out there that doesn't just use a bacterial or fungal tea but actually adds food to their compost tea, is this a product you could be adding into your compost tea formula in addition?
Yes, we believe so. We're still experimenting with that a little bit. We're finding finding right now my best recommendation is adding this at our application rate of 2 tablespoons per gallon right before you're going to apply your tea. Just kind of mix it in with the tea that you've already made and then apply it to your plants like you normally would. That's the same application you would use during a normal watering. We're finding that as long as you're not going heavy with other products that have high NPKs with that tea, the addition of this isn't going to cause a problem at all. In fact, it's going to help a lot.
There's a really popular product we sell at the Outdoor Season here at Monster Gardens called Maxi, which obviously works very well. Do you mind describing maybe some differences of that product in this product?
Sure. One of the key differences you'll find immediately is we have a wider assortment of ingredients in our product. I want to say that their product may have somewhere between 5 and 8 ingredients in it. Between all 4 products here, I think the lowest ingredient count in ours is 15 different products. Most importantly, I believe too, is the addition of the humic acid and the mycorrhizae to the product, because again, that really helps with the breakdown and absorption of all those nutrients. So those are some pretty key differences.
Now, if I'm a gardener that's using a really premium, fully amended soil mix, like the Monster Gardens Cocoa Connoisseur, or like, let's just give an example of a national brand that the quality isn't as high as it used to be, but is still utilized a lot, like Fox Farm Ocean Forest, would I be okay to apply this product right away, or would I wait a little bit of time?
I think it's going to vary by product, and I would have to be on a case-by-case situation. But I would say, generally speaking, after about maybe 2 weeks, I think you would be fine to start going with the normal application rates of our product. I always suggest a slightly reduced application rate at the very beginning after planting, transplanting. But then from that point forward, because of the way we've formulated our products, we find that it's very difficult to burn with, particularly obviously the Bloom products, but even the Grow products are very difficult. You have a lot of room on either side of the application rate to not run into any problem. And that's one of the reasons we formulated the products the way we did, because I felt that a lot of products out there were very confusing to use, and with a very, very limited range of leeway before you have problems. So we formulated this to give people a little more room for error experimenting.
And do you mind describing to us what the application rate is generally for the product if you're using it as a top dressing?
Sure. If you're going to top dress, we recommend about 1 cup to every 10 square feet of surface area you're applying to. So roughly a little over a 3x3 surface area. If you wanted to use it just strictly in a watering form, we would say you use 2 tablespoons per gallon of water that you're going to water with. Some of the amendments in our products are not fully soluble, like green sand, some of the calcium containing products like oyster shell and dolomite. So you'll find that while it may not dissolve, you will have a lot of that in suspension in the bucket, and when you water in, once it gets into the soil, you're going to start having that breakdown, and your plant's going to feed on that calcium and the other products in there that are breaking down, feeding your plants.
Perfect. Now, if I'm a gardener that has a soil bed from last year and I'm looking to re-amend it or reconstitute the soil, is this a product I could till into my soil bed?
Absolutely. In fact, we highly recommend that. We find that because of all those dry amendments that we add in, like the kelp, the oyster shell, the dolomite, the green sand, the mycorrhizae, those really help to reinvigorate soil and bring back the life, and the slow breakdown of those helps with the soil biology to bring that soil back to where it was to begin with.
Okay. So are there any recommendations for the gardeners that might try to use this product indoors?
I would follow the same exact application rates that we recommend here. One of the nice things, particularly if you're doing it with the watering method, 2 tablespoons per gallon, is that that's kind of self-limiting. No matter how much water you're going to add, you're doing 2 tablespoons per gallon. So if you're going to do 2 gallons or 20 gallons, it's still getting diluted at the proper ratio, so it's going to be really difficult to overuse the product.
I see. What package sizes does the product come in?
We have this small size here, which is a 1 gallon bucket. It's 8 pounds. We have a larger size here that's a 5 gallon bucket that's 40 pounds. It's kind of important to note that this is 40 pounds, whereas a lot of other products in 5 gallon buckets are more like 20 or 25 pounds. So we're trying to give people a lot more for their money. And then for people who want even larger quantities, we have a 2,000 pound super sacker.